Welcome to my channel, The Historic State. The courtroom is a battlefield of words, where reputations are forged and destroyed, where truth and lies clash under the cold light of justice. But what happens when the witness in the stand is a warrior trained in the art of silence, precision, and lethal focus? Today, we tell the story of a decorated female sniper facing a brutal court-martial. The prosecution's weapon? Not evidence, but insinuation. Their strategy? To paint her as mentally unstable, broken by the very job she excelled at. The ambitious lawyer thought he could break her, ridicule her, discredit her extraordinary skill by attacking her mind. He asked one question too many, and her answer, delivered with chilling calm, didn't just silence him, it silenced the world. And Sergeant Anya Sharma, known only by her call sign Ghost in the circles that mattered, was a legend wrapped in enigma. One of the most effective, most feared snipers in the special operations community, her record was a classified tapestry of impossible shots and missions accomplished in complete silence. She was known for her preternatural calm under fire, her almost inhuman focus, her ability to disappear and reappear like a phantom. But now this ghost was trapped under the harsh fluorescent lights of a court-martial, accused of disobeying a direct order during her last highly sensitive operation. An accusation that threatened to end her career and tarnish her legendary reputation. Leading the charge against her was Major Davenport, a prosecutor known for his ruthless tactics and theatrical courtroom style. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to destroy her. To understand the battle unfolding in that courtroom, you must understand the warrior. Anya Sharma wasn't just trained, she was forged. Years spent in the most demanding environments had honed her skills to a razor's edge. She operated in a world of absolutes. Target acquired, target eliminated. Emotion was a luxury she couldn't afford. Her call sign, Ghost, wasn't just about stealth. It was about her ability to detach, to become an instrument of pure, cold precision. This very detachment, this necessary compartmentalization that made her so effective, was now the weapon Major Davenport intended to use against her. And Davenport knew the official charge. Disobeying an order was weak, based on conflicting reports from a chaotic firefight. So he pivoted. His strategy was insidious, character assassination disguised as psychological concern. "Sergeant Sharma," he began, his voice dripping with false sympathy. "Yours is a demanding profession, the taking of human life, even enemy life, from such a distance. It takes a toll, doesn't it? The isolation, the constant pressure. The faces you see through your scope." He circled her, leaning in. "Isn't it possible, Sergeant, that after years of this unique stress, your judgment became clouded? That perhaps in that final moment, you weren't seeing clearly? That you hesitated, or worse, acted recklessly?" And Anya met his gaze, her expression unreadable. Her voice, when she answered, was low, steady, devoid of any defensiveness. "My training prepares me for the psychological demands of my role, Major." "But the stress, Sergeant? The constant killing?" Davenport pressed, trying to provoke a reaction. "Taking a life is never easy," Anya replied calmly. "But my focus is always on the mission objective and the protection of friendly forces." Davenport paced, frustrated by her unshakable composure. He needed to crack her facade, to show the court the damaged woman beneath the stoic soldier. He decided to go for the kill, focusing on her final, most controversial action. "NN. All right, Sergeant, Ghost," Davenport sneered, using her call sign mockingly. "Let's talk about your last confirmed kill on that operation. The high-value target you eliminated just moments before you supposedly misinterpreted the order to withdraw. Tell the court about that shot." He leaned in, his voice dropping conspiratorially. "Describe it for us. The distance? The conditions? What was going through your mind? Were you angry after losing your spotter? Were you scared? Did you perhaps enjoy pulling that trigger, Sergeant?" He smiled cruelly, believing he had finally cornered her, forcing her to reveal either emotional instability or cold-blooded enjoyment. Anya took a slow, deliberate breath. She turned her gaze away from the smug prosecutor, addressing the judges directly. Her voice remained calm, almost detached, but it held a new weight, a chilling precision that commanded absolute attention. "The target was designated. Cerberus," she began, her voice steady. He was located in a fortified bunker complex, surrounded by civilian hostages used as human shields. My spotter, Corporal Davies, had been fatally wounded minutes earlier. The withdrawal order had been given, but Cerberus was activating a remote detonation sequence for explosives planted in a nearby school being used as a refugee center. Confirmation came via intercepted comms. She paused, her eyes distant for a moment. The shot parameters were challenging, she continued, understatement ringing loud in the silent room. Distance, 475 meters. Wind, variable crosswind, gusting 15 to 20 knots from 2 o'clock. Mirage effect from ground heat was significant. Target exposure, a 2-second window, visible only through a 6-inch gap between 2 concrete barriers as he moved from the command console to the exit detonator. She described her calculations: Coriolis effect, spin drift, temperature, barometric pressure. Her mind a biological supercomputer. Heart rate, 60 beats per minute. Respiratory cycle controlled. Clean trigger brake. At T-5 seconds to detonation, Anya stated, her voice devoid of any emotion. Cerberus moved towards the secondary detonator. His intent was clear. Threat to civilian lives was imminent and absolute. The withdrawal order was tactically unsound given the immediate, catastrophic threat. Neutralization was the only viable option to prevent mass casualties. She paused, her gaze returning to the present, sharp and clear. The round impacted center mass. Detonation averted. Threat neutralized. She finished speaking, and silence. Not just the absence of noise, but a profound, heavy silence that filled every corner of the courtroom. Major Davenport stood frozen, his smug expression wiped clean, replaced by sheer, uncomprehending shock. The judges, hardened military officers themselves, stared at Sergeant Sharma, their faces a mixture of awe, deep respect, and perhaps a touch of fear. The court stenographer had stopped typing, her fingers hovering over the keys. Anya Sharma hadn't just described a kill. She had delivered a masterclass in extreme skill, impossible calculation, and ice-cold decision-making under unimaginable pressure. She hadn't shown instability. She had demonstrated a level of focus and control that was almost superhuman. She hadn't enjoyed it. She had simply executed. Davenport, flustered, finally broke the silence, stammering, But your orders, Sergeant. You admit you disobeyed." The lead judge cut him off sharply, his voice stern. "Major Davenport, I believe we have heard everything we need to understand the sergeant's actions. Your line of questioning regarding her mental state is dismissed." The rest of the court-martial was a formality. The charges were dropped. Sergeant Anya Ghost Sharma walked out, her reputation not just intact, but elevated to near-mythical status. Major Davenport learned a brutal lesson that day. Never challenge a ghost, especially not in her own domain. Anya Sharma's chillingly precise testimony became a legend, a stark reminder that true strength isn't measured in emotional outbursts, but in unshakable composure under fire. She proved that the mind of a sniper is not a weakness to be exploited, but a weapon more powerful, more precise, and ultimately more terrifying than any rifle in. Thank you for watching The Historic State. If this incredible story of ice-cold professionalism and the silencing power of truth left you speechless, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because here, we believe that sometimes, the quietest voices carry the deadliest precision.